Hi everyone, I'm Kristen Redman and I am an astrological intuitive.
And my name is Angela Chapko. I'm an intuitive spiritual medium.
And we
if
are...
you haven't gathered that by now,
Yeah.
we look nothing alike.
Today we kind of do in this darkness.
I
here.
know, I got my black jacket on.
I'm going to sit on your
This
lap.
is an impromptu video.
Yes. And it kind of goes around. We were just chatting with our coffee this morning and we were discussing weird dreams that are coming through and not being able to remember them, and just this really interesting energy that's coming up through the remainder of this year. And so this kind of started this impromptu reading, and we are sisters, and we are gifted, I guess, in our own regards, in the spiritual realm. But I also wanted to talk a little bit about our religious background too, because we're not trying to push any kind of agenda when it comes to those things. And I've had a lot of people lately, like, kind of questioning that with me. Let's talk about you and me.
Between two coffees. Yes. Instead of between two ferns, two coffees.
And it's funny because you've got the iced one and I've got the hot one. We're two different people.
Yes.
But I have had that a lot lately, and I know you've probably had it a whole lot more than I have over the years.
What, people second guessing their faith, or
what? No, let me talk, and I'll tell you what this. Where they say that people like us are demonic and horrible because the Bible says we're evil, and that we'll all go
Speak
to hell.
for yourself. Not me.
Pretty nice.
I was born 4 days before Christmas. I'm angelic.
It's true. That's the name, Angela. But yeah, so I just kind of wanted to throw that out there because the sun just transited into the sign of Sagittarius, which she's also a Sagittarius too, by the way, on the cusp there, Capricorn and Sagittarius. Throw that in there again. But anyway, but Sagittarius is a sign that's very focused on spirituality, the direct connection with God, and also religion too, and faith in general. So yeah, we are religious. Even though we have our spiritual faith, we are also deeply rooted in the belief of the Christian faith. We went to, just down the street from here actually, a Catholic school, St. Joseph's School, for the first 6 years of our education. We've got a really good base in understanding the Bible, and we both have a very close connection with Jesus. I feel that Jesus is the one that really leads us, guides us, and protects every one of us, of course, but how about you talk? Why don't you talk? Because I talked a lot. Why don't you talk about your...
Why don't I just talk about what she's trying to talk about?
I'll drink my coffee. Go for it.
Anyways, we were both raised Catholic, and even in my practice today, I do very much believe in the God energy. I believe in the Mother Mary, the Divine Mother. Now, you don't have to be a certain religion to believe or have these souls with you. But for me, in my practice, I work with the saints, and I feel a very close connection to the divine and the Christ conscious energy, and the Mother Mary and Mary Magdalene. Now, in the Catholic faith, they don't honor Mary Magdalene very well. I mean, she's a different topic altogether, and you basically have to go research her on your own and not so much as part of the Catholic Church, because they define her a little bit differently, and her purpose is she suits so many different things that a lot of people don't know what she really does. But she is one of the mothers that works with us in spirit, and she's a very powerful spirit. Also, she was an astrologer is that right?
Yes.
I remember.
Back to me. Yes, absolutely. Mary Magdalene was a carrier of the divine feminine energy, right? All of us, each one of us, carries the divine and divine masculine and feminine energies. She radiated that, and back before Christianity was a thing, but Jesus didn't come here to set up a religion. But before that, everybody followed the sun and the moon and the stars for guidance and reassurance. So yes, she was a high priestess in the faith with astrology.
Yeah. So basically, yes, what we're trying to talk about today is that no matter what or how you believe in God, however you go about it, your faith is really important in this time, and belief in yourself. And a lot of the changes that do come about, we have, and I know I've talked a little bit about this, but my better understanding in the past few days, even with clients, is that we are releasing some heavy karmic cords. My gosh. And
Take off my
energetically and astrology wise, you can see it in the forecast of what's coming towards the end of the year. Now, I'm not trying to say this is doom and gloom. That's not it. But when these karmic cords end, there's a lot of things being laid to rest. I'm also finding that people are finding their peace within themselves and their life path, but also there may be relationships that are healing on a completely different level. So let's just say you've been going through a lot of stuff with someone in a relationship or friendship or family members, that a lot of that karma is ending. So as it ends, the two of you, or maybe more of you, I don't know, but you're all kind of coming together and trying to figure out the resolution, whether to keep moving forward together or to, really let things go, because you're not carrying that around. Let me explain this better. Imagine you come in with your significant other in this life and you're having a lot of consistent issues that you can't seem to tackle. Well, through the course of these next few months, you're going to tackle them regardless. But what happens is that we have a cord that's like an umbilical cord. That's a karmic cord connected to you, and from you to another person that you're having these you're trying to figure out the balance with. So in this cord, there's a lot of old emotion and pain and struggle from other lifetimes that your souls are remembering. And part of the plan of when you come into this life is to heal this karma and not carry it around anymore. And when you make that decision as a soul and with another soul, it's intense. It's really
You
intense.
can feel it too. You can literally
Yes.
feel that. Sorry. I'll keep talking while you drink.
Oh, I thought you were
You
going to
can.
take it.
No, I was just gonna throw that in. You
I
can
was on a
literally,
roll.
you can really feel it. Keep rolling. Feel that connection.
Yeah, because it
does
is.
hurt when things have to break down and things are getting let go. And
Yeah, because the universe is just like, look, you guys aren't getting it. You as an individual, you might have a tough time where you always fall for people who are really wounded, or you can't get a job that you really like, because karmically there's so much that next year we're going into a big part of our life purpose. Huge. Why you came here. Twin souls are meeting each other. There are also a lot of reconciliations going on. But in order to get to these things and to get to the truth of it, everything has been breaking down in the past few months, past couple of years. But now we're starting to see the clearing, the light at the end of the tunnel. But before that, Kristen will talk a little bit energetically what's going on with, was it starting December? Or now? Oh, Thanksgiving Day.
Yeah.
Thanksgiving Day, so we look at Thanksgiving as a time of unity and coming together with our family. But remember, there's a lot of things that have to get situated as these cords break. It's like they break and there's all this emotion and energy, which I must say that a lot of these cards have already or cords have already broken. So now we're feeling the effects of it because we have to let all these pieces settle to the surface again. So what a perfect time for it to really start getting activated around the holidays. So, I think it's kind of fascinating. I don't worry for people on this. You look at everything like we talked about with the political stuff. Well, I feel like I've really moved past that now because we have more important things that we really need to tackle. Not saying that our political views are not important, but the universe is like, okay, well, get into your light workerness, get into your healing. It's okay to be upset and angry and sad, but we need you to get going. We can't stay stagnant in one place anymore because your life purpose and others need you. So this is a time of really deep reflection and looking within yourself. But how are you going to externally, show you that you're doing the work you need to do here? That makes sense.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Take a drink. I'm going to start it out with how you were talking about all the things kind of breaking apart and, starting that cycle of the cords starting to break down, the ones that we bring the cornucopia. Yes. So actually that kind of started, I'm going to say back in 2012 is when there were some massive unexpected changes that started these shifts.
Oh, when was that? 2012?
2012 is when it really started.
The beginning of 2012?
I think it was March was the first. We had these a series of hard connections that were happening between Pluto, which is a planet I'm going to start talking about, which is going to start this trend on Thanksgiving here. But Pluto is a planet of transformation, but it literally will blow things up to make the changes. Okay. And they're very deep, very murky, dark things that go with Pluto. Okay. Death, loss, transformation, things like that, debt, horrible things like that. But anyway, so we had Pluto, and then it was making a really hard connection with Uranus, which is the planet of unexpected things.
Was this in 2012?
Started in 2012, and we had a series of 5 of these events where, because of retrograde patterns, they kept squaring each other. It was like they'd go retrograde and start going backwards, and then they'd start going, and then it would make that connection again, and they move so slow, and then it would go retrograde again, and then it would start again. So this happened 5 times, about 6 months apart each time, from 2012 up until last year. The last one was in the fall of last year. And the energy
That's
for that
really fascinating.
I am fascinating.
Well, let me tell you. It makes sense to me. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
And I'm sure it makes sense to a lot of people that are watching this too. And the last one happened in the fall of last year. The energy from that finally wore off in the spring of this year. So you started seeing things clearly. But look at that now. We had a lot of series of random events, unexpected losses, unexpected changes. That could be with relationships, literally losing people. We've lost a lot of people in that time frame unexpectedly as well. Okay, you think of that.
We've lost a few.
Yeah, you think of Deb and Grandpa passing away in 2014, and both were unexpected. You know what I mean?
Well, Grandma was expected.
Deb.
Oh,
and
Deb.
Grandpa.
Yeah, those were pretty.
Within a week of
and
each
other
other.
People that I know too.
Right.
So.
Yeah, absolutely. But that also can, with all sorts of events. So we had that happening. That started the process of the breaking down and the changing and shifting in relationships, right? So then we've got this happening starting on Thanksgiving of this year, where we got Pluto again, right? That planet that kind of blows things up. And we've got Jupiter coming in. Jupiter is the biggest planet in the universe. So whatever Jupiter touches, it magnifies it. It grows that and it blows it up. So you've got this planet of Pluto, which tends to be jealous, possessive, creates power struggles in relationships. And you got Jupiter coming through and it blows it up. Okay. So, and I've seen it in chart readings that I've done for people. Ironically, in the past couple months, where around Christmas time, there's a lot of family issues that get blown up. We're talking stuff that's lied dormant for years, right? Like, you've always made the sweet potatoes wrong, you know, or worse. Yeah. I mean, we're talking really deep rooted issues, right? And they're going to get magnified. They're going to get blown up. This transit lasts through until the end of the year, ironically. And what a perfect time to start new and fresh. Dealing with these things. Let Jupiter blow it up, is what I'm saying. Let it blow up. And then let the transformation happen, because that's what Pluto does best. Okay. These things have been in the works for a few years. They're coming to a head. It's time to release those cords, like Angela says, and kind of let that healing come in. I'm going to let you talk again in a second, because now I'm on a roll here. But we've got Sagittarius energy that's coming in, finding the truth. That's what it's about. Sagittarius is shining the light on finding the real truth, getting to the matter of it, expanding beyond the limitations that we've set for ourselves. Like where you said you may be in a relationship that isn't working very well. The light of Sagittarius shines on it and says, this is the truth of the matter. You finally see it. You've had all these events happen over the past few years. Wake up time.
So what did it teach us in 2012? Like, what was the gist of that whole energy shift, and why?
I think that's going to vary from person to person. But for me, I think it's a matter of learning how to, I mean, these are unexpected events that happen. I think it's a matter of strengthening yourself, your spirit, your direct connection, your faith, you know, kind of starting out our thing with that, with these series of unexpected events that happen. You know what I mean?
How's that tied into the gateway? The 999 gateway, is that tied into this?
We're going all over the place here. Well, that has to do with Jupiter also, but the 999 gateway that she's speaking of started on September 9th of this year, and it lasted for about a month. And this was a very interesting gateway that only happens every 12 years, because Jupiter, there's that planet that blows things up. It doesn't just blow things up. I'm not making it get a bad rap here. It brings a lot of luck. It brings a lot of expansion, because Jupiter rules Sagittarius. They go hand in hand. They really do. So here we go. Jupiter's trying to find the truth, trying to expand things, trying to push you beyond what you need to. And it creates this gateway. of endings. 9 represents that ending just before the brand new beginnings that come. Okay. So the 999 gateway opens. Jupiter goes into Libra, trying to balance the scales of everything that's been happening like you haven't seen in 12 years. A lot of it's relationship based. I mean, a lot of it's relationship based for a lot of people. But so here we go. Gateways opened up. If you had thoughts in that time frame, I need to end this relationship. I finally need to end these things. All these unexpected things happened. I finally see the light. I understand it. You put that out in the universe that I want this to end. I want things to change, and I'm ready to bring in something new in that gateway of time frame. Then the universe hears you, and it's going to start bringing those changes coming through. That's what is that. Did I answer what you're saying? Because that's
Yeah,
a 999
I'm
gateway.
just tying it all in together in the past few months and like what's going on energetically for people, and here you're releasing a lot karmically, and you know what? Yeah, I think on some levels we are going to start over with some people because you're clearing out that karma. Now, I'm not saying that's always going to be the case. I think some things are just going to end, and you have to move forward. But I tell you what, the thing that I've seen lately in the work, it's fascinating how many people are finally stepping into their power.
And Pluto's about power. A lot of times we give that power to other people in the relationships.
And respecting people too. Like it's viewing people in a whole different level of, you know what, I get that. Maybe I overreacted on this, or this is how I feel and you need to hear me. Like you need to tell those things. Like you're communicating a lot better as well. But it's interesting.
Yeah. Well, and it all goes together. Sagittarius, Jupiter, those kinds of things. Expanding beyond what we've restricted ourselves in. Exploring new ways of dealing with these issues that repeatedly come up. But it's also about finding the truth and finding yourself, right? It's about your spiritual connection, because it's your path in this life, right? It's not me and Jim Bob, because I married Jim Bob here. It's not just about the two of us. It's about my own spiritual path, and I think that's what's coming into light. Yeah, coming into light. And we got that Sagittarius going on, sun shining light through that now. The archangel that rules, or not rules, but kind of helps those with the Sagittarian energy and all of us in Sagittarius is Archangel Raguel. His color is the blue of Mother Mary, so he kind of carries that same energy of Mother Mary. And his main goal, main thing that this angel does is brings harmony to relationships. He's the one that wants to kind of say, okay, let's just, like you said, everybody that's Sagittarian, and sister's a really good one for this too. I would definitely say when conflict goes on around somebody that's a Sagittarius, they're the peacekeeper. They're the one that's going to say, okay, let's be calm. Let's look at it from both sides. You know, you put yourself right in the middle of it, a good mediator. So that's what Archangel Raguel is going to come in and help with. Just pay attention. You know what I mean? He's around trying to help you bring balance, fairness for everybody in those relationships.
So what about the dreams? What about the dream state? What have you gathered?
What about those dreams? I tell you, golly, it just seems like there's so many of them. And I think it's because we've got all of this energy that's going on, right? All of this leading up energy that's trying to push us to expand our horizons, right? Just like Jupiter does. It's trying to push us beyond where we've fenced ourselves in. And I think just because of that, there's going to be so much subconsciously that's going on from the physical realm, and then metaphysically they're trying to bring you these answers. I think these dreams are just crazy, erratic, weird.
Well, that's part of when your karmic cord, your karmic umbilical cord is snapped. You're going to have a lot of subconscious stuff come through in your dream state. But it is interesting. I think our whole DNA and our light bodies, our spiritual bodies are shifting, and they're getting reprogrammed from the divine, so we can handle and heal. I mean, if you're making room in yourself and you're releasing all these cords that are heavy and they don't work, and you're finding your individuality, of course everything's going to change inside of you.
And you're gonna you're gonna really start questioning your faith. You're gonna start questioning your spirituality, right? Because in those times, that's when you're kind of looking for that guidance a little bit more.
You can, or you may find that you want to strengthen your connection to the divine or understand your purpose a lot more so. But I do feel that, you know, the God energy is really here. You know, I know we get busy in our daily lives, but it's so, what's the word? Like, there's so much synchronicity.
Synchronicity.
Yes. Synchronization.
There is.
Synchronization.
Something like that.
I know that's a word.
Yeah.
But
Yes, it is.
you're
very
seeing
true.
it in numbers and repetition constantly. And I think with our dream state, I think there's so much coming in the next year. There's so much spiritually going on, universally going on, mentally, emotionally. We're breaking out of core patterns that haven't worked for us. Like the core part of yourself is so important. One of my angels had told me the other day, and they said, okay, well, it's always important that you have a core talk with yourself to see where you are, which I believe. But have you had a core talk with your spirit? Like your actual spirit, and see where your spirit is and how it's evolving.
Not just your religious faith, right? Let's go beyond that. Because that's kind of set in parameters by the Bible or your specific belief. Go beyond that. Let's push beyond that. Keep an eye out for that energy starting this week, especially if you find there's a little bit more struggles with the family at the Thanksgiving dinner table. Just know it's going to bring through some massive changes.
But in a good way. See the positive of it. Because you know what? These things need to happen and get resolved. It's all about resolution and moving forward in your individual self and merging with those that are willing to do the work with you.
Absolutely. Yep. And then there's wonderful energy that starts into the new year. So know that it's going to bring the changes you need, and in the process you get a lot more focus on that direct connection you have with the divine and God and saints and the energies, and it's a mixing and melding of your religious faith with your own spiritual faith and finding that strength in yourself. So yes.
So go get it.
Go get it. Go get that spiritual connection. Yeah, absolutely.
Go get your Christ on.
Yeah.
Where did I hear that?
I
think the movie Saved. I don't know.
Well, y'all go do that this Thanksgiving.
It'll work out.
Absolutely. Yes. So, well, yes, I think that was a good video, impromptu video. And you know, I was thinking with our last video, since nobody commented, but if somebody does want to comment, you can always leave something there for us and say, hey, why don't you talk about this or something? Because we'd love to talk about, well, anything, I suppose. You just name it and we're happy to help. So
sounds good.
Yeah,
thank you for watching.
Yeah, happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Yes, happy Thanksgiving.
Bye.